Hey, what's going on, No Nation? It's CJ Wilson here with Dope Talk. Of course, I'm your host. Appreciate you guys for joining me. Sorry for the late start and late notice. It's been, I guess, a crazy few days with traveling down to Tampa for work and shout out my producer, super producer Harlan. He's in Bermuda for work, so it's been kind of tough with lining up schedules and all of that type of deal. But nonetheless, we are here. Go ahead and get started, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Just some housekeeping stuff. Go ahead and do that for us, if you could. All right. And we got to pay bills around here. I want to give a shout out to our new sponsor, man. Shout out to our new sponsor, FastPay. Dope Talk is brought to you by FastPay. FastPay provides you a corporate MasterCard built for business expenses such as travel, like I'm doing myself, lodging, entertainment, shipping, whatever you need within your business module. FastPay will definitely take care of you. You get 2.25% cash back in Evergreen, no annual fees, and no monthly fees. Tap in with FastPay. They'll definitely take care of you guys. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. FSU ended up getting the win, a dominating win against Wake Forest for homecoming. Ended up beating the Demon Deacons 42-7. To be honest with you guys, I didn't expect that type of domination. And also, it was a really nice crowd for homecoming. I want to kind of start there. Shout out to No Nation for coming out and support. Well, it's been a rough 4 games with this 4 game losing streak. A lot of chatter about, possible replacement at head coach and that type of deal. But again, it feels like my stuff is skipping a little bit. But again, shout out to Noah Nation for showing up. It was a real nice crowd for homecoming. It was an energetic crowd, pretty packed for the most part. I know you guys probably saw social media with the portion of, I guess you could say, Doak Campbell Stadium, where the fans were, taking off their shirts and up top and spinning around and just having a good time. That started like a few guys, then they'll turn into a few hundred at the top of Doak Campbell Stadium. So real good energy in regards to the win. Nice crowd for a night game at home for homecoming. Man, shout out to the stadium renovations, man. That stadium is just so damn beautiful and everything that kind of goes into it, the light shows and all that type of stuff. I want to give a shout out to Mike Alford for, I guess, everything he put into the stadium. I know that's been his baby project the last few years, and just to see that in full swing, man, it's dope. It was Heritage Weekend. Shout out to people that wore blue. I want FSU to stop being cowards too, man. Stop being cowards and wear those damn uniforms. I mean, you guys were teasing the uniforms and that type of deal, encouraging fans to wear their heritage gear, that type of stuff, and just to go with your traditional look. Um, you should wear those uniforms. You got them for a reason. You should wear those uniforms once a year. Of course, for this, you use them all the time in the recruiting videos and that type of deal. So wear the dang heritage uniforms. Let's stop being cowards. I know I guess we've been losing as of late, but again, what do you have to lose, right? You lost 4 games in a row. And I always been. I'm not a me personally. I'm not a superstitious person when it comes to that type of deal. Oh, we're going to lose because we wear the black jerseys or whatever it may be. You're losing because of the product you put on the field, not the threads that you're wearing on the uniform that you're wearing. So shout out to the Heritage uniforms on us to stop being cowards and actually wear the uniforms, and do that type of deal. Let's jump into it. So I'm going to touch on the offensive side of football first, and also, guys, if you do have, yeah, shout out to the comments, the recruits love them. If you do, you guys know within the comment section, and my producer isn't in right now. Like I said, Harlan is in Bermuda. He could be joining the show later, so I'm doing a lot on my end as far as running live and all that type of stuff. Um, So if you guys have any super chats, those will definitely get highlighted. If you guys have a super chat that you guys want as far as a question to be answered specifically, or take, comment, whatever you got, whatever you have on your mind, definitely let us know and hit the super chat, and that'll get answered um, directly. All right, let's talk about the offense, man. We have 421 yards of total offense, which is, something that's become a staple. We've been doing a hell of a job in regards to gaining yards and that type of deal. One of the best in the nation. And it's just crazy. Shout out to Gus Malzahn and the whole offense staff. It's like night and day from what we were last year to this year in offense. Last year, we couldn't, like, I'm doing backflips. We even score a fucking touchdown or go across the 50. Excuse my language. But that's just how bad the offense was last year. I feel like my video is skipping a little bit. I feel like I'm lagging. But that's just how bad the offense was last year. We were bottom of the barrel when it comes to offense in every statistical category. We're in the upper 120s when it comes to that, and to be top 10 in most categories is pretty impressive. It was been a big turn on offense. But just speaking on the offense, Tommy was 7 for 11 on third downs too, which was something that caught my attention. But Tommy Castellano, he had a pretty good day tossing the ball around. He was 12 of 16, 271 yards and a touchdown. Of course, he had some monsters to throw the ball to, man. Shout out to Deuce. Shout out to the big Deuce, man. When I say Deuce, I mean Deuce. Shout out to Deuce. He had 5 catches, 148 yards, and a touchdown. In my opinion, Deuce Robinson has first-round talent. He moves very fluid for his size. 6'6", 225-pounder, get in and out of his breaks. He has very good body control. Good speed, too, as you saw in that first catch where he kind of separated from one defender. For his size to move like that is pretty impressive. If Deuce was in a pass-exclusive type of offense, and I'm going to get to the numbers specifically in a second, but if he was in a pass-specific type of offense, his numbers could be really eye-popping. He could be, I think he's, from a talent standpoint, he's one of the better receivers in the country. From a production standpoint, he has the potential. He had the potential to be one of the better receivers in the country if he was in that type of offense that just tossed the ball around 24/7. But yeah, I really like Deuce. Don't know if he comes back next year. You have that type of stuff. Like I said, I think he's a first-round talent. Don't know if he would go first round this year. But again, I wouldn't be surprised, man. Deuce is that type of player. Really good get out of the portal for FSU and Mike Norvell. He was a 5-star out of high school, 5-star in the portal. Deuce Robinson is definitely a true 5-star type of talent. Kai Dansley, he had a 66-yard catch. Of course, he continues to be a big weapon for us. Just speaking about Deuce and Deuce and Makai themselves as a whole, Deuce has 34 catches on the year for 689 yards and 4 touchdowns. Makai has 671 total yards and 5 total touchdowns. 503 of those 671 are receiving yards. I mean, you do the math, man. Deuce is on pace. He has a chance to break 1,000 yards with receiving for the year, and that's saying a lot with the type of offense we have and the type of passer we have at quarterback. Tommy is more so he's a run first guy. He can throw the ball. Don't get it twisted. He's been showing that he can toss it downfield. But just the type of offense we had to have Deuce get 1,000 yards this year could be very impressive. And redshirt freshman Makai Dansley, he's probably going to end up having 1,000 total yards if we continue to, stay on that path and that type of deal. This is the type of stuff you can sell to recruits, right? There's been a lot of questions about recruiting and development as far as how receivers can be used in Gus Malzahn's offense, right? So you have this situation right here where the receivers definitely can be used, and you see we're utilizing them, and they're making big plays within the offense. So you can definitely sell this on a recruiting trail with the negative recruiting or the negative notion that, Gus Malzahn's offense isn't friendly for pass catchers and things like that. Of course, you got Randy Pittman, Mr. Do-It-All, had a huge 3rd and long catch from Tommy T for like 30 yards and a really tough rushing touchdown. We broke like 3 or 4 tackles to get into the end zone. I do kind of question why we haven't seen that Wildcat situation since Virginia, right? With Randy Pittman, he scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion against Virginia within, and then of course he scored a touchdown against this past weekend against Wake Forest. That's pretty effective. That's something we should see a little bit more in the red zone, in my opinion, especially within 10 or so yards, scoring a touchdown. I think we should try to use that Randy Pittman Wildcat formation a little bit more. Of course, Sam Singleton, he got to start at running back, and he made the most of his opportunity. We kept feeding the hot hand, and Sam was the hot hand, had 14 carries, 91 yards in a touchdown, had over 6 yards per pop. Kid has a lot of burst, sub 11 in the 100-meter dash. I mean, one second. Appreciate the super chat, man. Media outlets that cover FSU act like they know what is going on. Not a team, not a team that has quit on coach. Got nice recruits this weekend. Sick of the negativity, of the negative. I agree, Kevin. I appreciate the super chat. I mean, I'm sick of the negative. I'm not a negative person myself, and I don't really like that type of stuff. But to be honest with you, the negativity has been warranted. Um, we're on a 4-game losing streak, so it's going to be a lot of negativity surrounding that. And I want to guess we can touch on that now as far as the players believing in Mike Norvell and has haven't quit on the coach. Um, those those notions, so to speak, or the comments in regards to players quitting and that type of deal. I mean, we and just I get how can I put this? We're just responding to what we see, right? We're responding to what we see. We're responding to what we see. And if you watch the Stanford game from a body language standpoint, that's exactly what we saw. We saw a team that looked like they were done, looked like they were kind of checked out. Of course, Edwin Joseph got into a Mike Norvell, and Edwin also addressed that on Twitter, talking about that situation to where, and he's absolutely right. Stuff like that does happen on the football field. Emotions got the best of him, and he has Mike back and all that type of deal. But we're as fans, we're just going off of what we see, right? And also, there was reports where people were, I don't know, we don't know how true this is, but there were media outlet reports saying that the team was, mocking Mike Norvell climb or respond message in the locker room post Cal game. Those are signs of a team that has kind of quit on the coach and a team has checked out. Now, the team did respond and look like they made a complete 180 from what we saw against Stanford to what we saw against Wake Forest. The team looked enthused on the sideline. The team was checked in. They're rallying around Mike, just rallying around everything in general to try to, I guess, have a good output and get the negative heat, because it was negative heat, a lot of negative heat off the program and that type of deal. Maybe playing at home played a part instead, because the fans were energetic as well too. But you see how people are saying, energy and this, that, and the third, and the team hasn't quit. They're saying it because they saw what the team put out last past Saturday against Wake Forest. Those same people or critics that said that the team possibly quit on the coach, those are the same ones that saw what they saw in regards to the player and the energy on the sideline not being what it should be against Stanford and that type of deal. So um, it's kind of comes to the territory. You lose 4 games in a row, you kind of open all that stuff up. But I do agree as far as the negativity, and also agree as far as getting the recruits going. Definitely a good thing to get the kids on campus and to get that, get the recruiting momentum going, because shit, that is the the lifeblood of the program, and that's recruiting and that type of deal. Appreciate the super chat, man. But you're as far as we don't know how true it is. Whoever reported that information as far as the marketing that type of stuff. But again, we just go over what's reported, not necessarily what's reported, but you're I always say, like, of course the eye in the sky don't lie, but my eyes, I trust my eyes more than anything, right? I don't really care what this person said, that person say. What I see is what I'm gonna go with, and what I saw within that Stanford game was a team that looked checked out on the sideline for the most part. Even though they still did fight to try to win that game against Stanford. I think Gavin scored the touchdown, but the team I saw against Wake Forest was clearly night and day from what I saw in Stanford. So we got to be consistent and judge on a week-to-week basis. But yeah, like I was saying about Sam Singleton, keep feeding the high hand, had 14 carries, 91 yards, over 6 yards per pop. Has a lot of bursts. He has the most bursts, in my opinion, out of all the running backs. Once he sees a hole, he's a one cut guy, and he could go, he could hit it, and that's compliments to a sub 1100-meter dash that he had in high school. So he has the speed. The kid can be a home run threat. I really like Sam Singleton, what he brings to the table. I liked it last year, the little bit I saw, because you guys remember he had a kick return for a touchdown against Duke, if I'm not mistaken. Showed the speed there. So the times he does get carries, he takes advantage of them. And I don't know, man. It's interesting, man. This as far as what we have in our backfield. I know everybody wants Cromont, the all-world freshman Cromont, to pretty much get 40 to 50 carries a game. And you guys worry about him transferring and all that type of shit. I get it. But again, we have a very good running back room, and all of those guys I feel like are productive. The main three I think should see carries is Usman, Sam Singleton, excuse me, and Hall of Fame linebacker. But Sam Singleton, and Gavin Sawchuk are the three that should get consistent carries, in my opinion. And hell, I will say Keziah Holmes, because every time he plays, he's effective. But shit, he doesn't damn play, so I don't know. But those are the guys, in my opinion, that should get the main carries. I know, like I said, I know you guys want to give the super freshman 20 damn carries a game, but we have a nice rotation in the backfield, man. There's no need for all of that. Got a shot in the offensive line too. They did a hell of a job of creating holes and giving Tommy Castellano time in the pocket to make those big throws downfield to Makai Dansley and Deuce Robinson as well. So shout out to the O line. Again, night and day. And I talked about the preseason about how good FSU could be and how good this as far as from the offensive line standpoint, and it kind of the season kind of riding on the offensive line. This offensive line is night and day better than what we had last year, the year before that. It's best offensive line we've had, shit, maybe since 2000. This could be the best offensive line around 2014ish, around that time. Probably the best offensive line we had since around 2014ish, and that's saying a lot. So a real big shout out to, I guess, I want to say the scheme first of all. Of course, Herb Hand, the job he's done developing and coaching these guys, and just the talent we brought in. Now, we brought in some good guys from the transfer portal, of course, but to have these guys from different schools from the offensive line come together and gel and create a improved comparable output on the offensive line is a hell of a job, man. Because as you guys know, offensive line. Oh, Kevin, I got to point this out, man. Oh my gosh, this is fucking amazing. You're absolutely right. I'm gonna get to that point in a second. I love how 32 pass protects as a true freshman. Again, as a running back, if you could pass pro, that's going to get you on the damn field. But yeah, it was a throw down field to Deuce Robinson that was, oh my god, you couldn't draw that play up any more perfect. I know that shit is going to be played over and over again in film session for FSU. Just showing how a play should be run from the top down, from a blocking standpoint, offensive line, blitz picked up by the running back, quarterback throw, and then of course the catch by Deuce. But yeah, it was a play where Oos pretty much stepped up and made a nice blitz pickup. And as you guys know, Oos. He's a physical player. He was more so the hammer than the nail in that situation, which was definitely refreshing to see. So yeah, I agree. He does a hell of a job. Oos is a hell of a player, man. He does a hell of a job of blocking. He can do it all. He can catch the ball. He can block. He can run it. He's tough to get down. The kid's going to be a hell of a player for FSU. But yeah, just I think since 2013 to 2014, this is the best offensive line FSU had. Probably 2014. Excuse me. That's saying a lot. And as you guys know, offensive line have to gel. They typically play a lot of snaps together and things like that to get a familiarity and that type of deal. But on the run, we were able to piece together rather, a pretty good offensive line unit. So shout out to Huracan, shout out to Gus Malzahn and all that type of deal. Let's move on to the defense. Hell of a job by the defense. Got to give a hand clap to the defense. You guys answered the bell against Wake Forest. Hell of a job by the defense. Um, Held them to seven points, and of course, those 7 points, in my opinion, um, were on the offense as Lucas Simmons had a horrible whiff, horrible whiff that ended up getting Brock Glenn hit. Brock didn't even see the guy because it was his blind side. Ended up getting Brock Glenn hit and fumbling it, and we turned the ball over in plus territory, and they was able to get the touchdown. So pretty much like a mop-up duty type of touchdown, 7 points. Could have had a shutout, but again, really good job by the defense. Wake Forest had 247 total yards of offense. less than 100 yards rushing. Only offense they had really was Robbie Asher running the football. He had 12 carries of 59 yards. And don't get this confused. Wake Forest offense is bad. It's terrible. Going to be completely honest with that. We had the Wake Forest beat writer on last week. Shout out my guy. Where is it? I'm sorry. Yeah, we had the Wake Forest reporter on last year. My apologies. Connor O'Neill, and he pretty much stated that how inaccurate quarterbacks are, how inaccurate these Wake Forest quarterbacks, how inaccurate they've been this thus far this season. And where's my notes? One second, guys, trying to find my damn there. So how inaccurate these quarterbacks have been thus far this season. We saw that full fledged on Saturday. It was a bunch of missed throws, a bunch of bad throws. There was a couple of throws that were open actually, but he just couldn't see it. That could have been huge plays against FSU. And of course, the few times he was accurate, the receiver dropped the ball right. I guess we have and it's crazy because that's exactly what my guy said. Connor stated the same thing. Like Wake Forest struggles with drops as well too. When you have a quarterback that's so inaccurate, you kind of, I guess, you get surprised when the ball is actually on you, and then you end up dropping the football. So they had a few drops as well. But again, I'm not taking it away from defense. The defense did what they needed to do, holding those guys to 7 points. And again, that was a fluke 7 points in my opinion. They got the damn shutout. So holding those guys to basically a shutout, 247 yards total offense, less than 100-yard rushing, based upon what we've been seeing thus far in the season. That's a great job of responding by the defense. Great job of making adjustments by Tony White during the bye week. We didn't really see the linebackers get exposed because he was doing certain blitzes to kind of protect and mask the linebackers. So again, really good job by the defensive staff these past 2 weeks in the bye week, trying to figure out how to slow the bleeding down and band-aid it, and they showed against Wake Forest. Now again, Wake Forest isn't a good offense. Don't get it twisted, but you showed the signs of improvement. So you want to take what you did against Wake. Well, take what you did in the 2 weeks of the bye week. Take what you did with that, build upon that, build upon what you did as far as laying that foundation in the Wake Forest game, and continue that next week against Clemson. We finally recovered a fumble and finally bounced our way. So again, hats off to the defense. Really good job. Earl Little had a good game, had 7 tackles, had 7 tackles in the pick six. And to be completely honest, man, Earl is looking like he's going to be first team All ACC. Over 50 tackles, I believe, on the year, and 4 interceptions. Um, Earl is having a big year. He'll probably be first team All ACC, like I stated. Shaheem Brown had a pretty big game. Jerry Wilson had a solid game as well. He was real close to a pick six, ended up dropping it. It was beautiful too. He broke on it so nicely. If he would have, caught it cleanly, it was a walk-in pick six. And he also had a big hit on a receiver. And if he was actually focusing on the receiver itself, well, the ball itself instead of focusing on the receiver, he could have got he could have got a interception on that play, and that could have been a pick six as well. So Jerry Wilson looked pretty good. Amari Williams, he had a pretty good game, had a sack, transitioning him over to full time, which I felt like was the best for him in the first place. Transitioning him over full time to the defensive side of the ball has paid dividends. James Williams, want to give a shout to James Williams, man. He had a few plays on the game. The big hit on Robbie Asher that ended up causing the interception for Earl Little, and also he had another sack within the game as well too. So shout out to James Williams. He finally got home on the pass rush situation, something he hasn't really done all year. So shout out to James Williams. He had a pretty solid game. But yeah, kind of going back to my when I was answering that super chat about players being checked out and all that type of deal, players being real vocal after the game in defense of Mike Norvell. They heard everything that's been going on online within the past 2 weeks, even before that. I get it, but I'll put it this way: everything is on the players. Everything falls within you guys' hands. You say that no, Mike isn't the reason for it. Mike isn't the problem. He isn't the reason behind X, Y, and Z. We are the reason for this 4-game losing streak. If you look at the film, we do this, we do that, we would have won. Everything falls on that. Okay, I get it. Everything falls on that, but at the same time, you guys, I look at that kind of funny because we're on a 3-game losing streak, and you had a chance to respond against Stanford, and you guys pretty much laid the egg and didn't have any energy. But I will say, like I said, everything kind of falls on the players. If we win out and win 8 games, Mike Norvell isn't getting fired. I mean, let's just be clear. 8 wins is a good season for Florida State this year. Coming from 2 wins last year to win 8 this year, I feel like his job would be safe. Um, I had FSU going 8-4 during the preseason. I think most of the damn fan base had people going. I think Vegas had us at 6.5 or 7.5, 7.5 as far as win total. Most of the fan base had us around 7 or 8. I know the Bama game changed a lot of expectations. I get it, but again, if we win 8 games, if they win out, then Mike will be safe. But the question is, will they win out? That's up to the players. They have the ability to do that. Clemson, and I guess you could say NC State on the road Friday night is going to be tough. And of course, Florida, they played Georgia pretty tough as well. So it's doable, but at the same time, going 2-2 down within these last 4 games is doable as well. Going 1-3 within these 4 games is doable as well. So if you go 2-2 within these last 4 games, that's what, 6-6 season. I don't I don't think he kind of survives that. You go 3-1, 7-5. Okay, he could probably survive that. I can see him survive. I think he'll survive 7-5. Now I get into those reasons in a second. You go 1-3. I mean, you can kind of forget that. I don't think he survived that. So, and the reason I say a 7-5 would be something that Mike Norvell would be something that Mike Norvell will survive in regards to going 7-5. For one, of course, we got a huge buyout, right? And we got to pay all that type of money, and then you got to pay an entirely new staff. So 7-5 should buy him another year, in my opinion, based upon that for one reason. And two, the job market is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy as far as the competition for this year. We have Auburn that just opened up. Florida is available. Penn State is available. Virginia Tech is available. Arkansas is available. It's going to be a few more jobs that could become available as well. LSU is available. Forgot about LSU. That's the big one. So it's like a few big programs that are looking to fill head coaches. UCLA, they're looking to hire as well. Stanford looking to hire. So now, again, it's going to be a lot more. So you factor that in, the huge buyout, 7-5 should be safe. But again, 6-6 or below, I don't see that happening for FSU. And also, I don't think so. The third reason I think 7-5 will make him safe is the third and final reason I think 7-5 would make him safe, is next year's schedule. So next year's schedule is the same as, I'm not going to say the same as this year. You go on the road to Alabama, and of course you play Florida, Miami, and Clemson. You also play Notre Dame. So you got Notre Dame, Clemson, Miami, Florida, and Alabama. That's 5 pretty tough games on the schedule. So you don't really want a new head coach to have his first year tenure to be within that to run into that type of schedule for his first year in the trying to implement things within the first year. You don't really want that to happen. So I can see 7-5. I can see us keeping Mike at 7-5 for those 3 reasons, and then we go into next year with a cheaper buyout and kind of, depending on what Mike do, sink or swim in regards to the schedule. So again, I know players have been vocal about Mike Norvell in regards to not firing him and all that type of deal. I get it. You guys have passion for your coach, and I definitely appreciate it. That does answer one question as far as, last week and weeks prior, people were saying, players haven't really been, I guess you could say, sticking up for Mike or believing in Mike or having his back. We see that the players do have his back. Now it's time to actually show it on the field and get the results and get the wins. If you guys don't want your coach to be fired, I mean, the only thing you got to do is just win games, right? Play the best of your abilities, and everything will be Gucci, and you'll save his job. Shout out to Kevin again for the super chat. Same people are pissed at Mike's contract and buyout, want to pay it and then sign a long-term 80 million deal with someone else with no promise or success. And that, I think that's some of the issues with college football now, is just giving these super long contracts and kind of rewarding coaches for, I guess you could say, begging them to stay, so to speak. Like, so just to kind of pick it, not to defer from your point, but just to kind of go further into your point, like Matt Rule. Matt Rule has been terrible at, he's not actually terrible, he's been mid, right? Average to below average at Michigan. I'm sorry, at Nebraska. Hasn't done anything special at Nebraska. He gets lumped into the Penn State job, and then Nebraska pays him an extension and then, raise a buyout for him. Why? What has he done to warrant that? The fear of losing coaches has really caused college football programs to get into this predicament by, super agent Jimmy Sexton with these buyouts. You're 6 to 7 wins at Nebraska is what Rule's been doing, 8 wins or so. You don't no you could bring in, I'm not gonna say anybody, but you can hire someone else to have the results that Matt Rule is having. We're not talking about Bobby Bowden. We're not talking about Nick Saban. We're not talking about Spurrier at the University of Florida. We're not talking about USC and those Pete Carroll days. We're not talking about these type of coaches, or Kirby Smart. We're not talking about these type of coaches. We're talking about coaches that really haven't won anything. So I mean, you're paying Matt Rule this huge, crazy extension just because you fear of him going to Penn State. You can bring in another coach to have the same results that Matt Rule is bringing to the table. But again, appreciate the super chat, Kevin. And also, man, it was homecoming, right? So he had a lot of FSU alumni were in the building for homecoming. I'll give a shout out to Sarah Blakely, man. As you guys know, she's the founder of Spanx. She was at the game, seemed to have a pretty good time at the game. That's been a big deal among FSU fans recently in regards to Blakely. Especially in today's college football game, everything is about the dollar, right? So fans want her to come in and be, you know, save FSU, her, $1 billion net worth and that type of deal. But again, it's not really necessarily all about that. Having her on board and being a supporter of the program would be key 100%. Will be definitely welcome and warranted, and will give FSU something competitive to stand with as, this new landscape of college football. And also, man, we're talking about a very young university in FSU, very young. We don't have old money like a lot of these other universities have that have been around, for 200 years. FSU isn't that type of university. We don't have that type of old money as of yet that you just, inherited over years and that type of deal. FSU doesn't have that. So to have Sarah Blakely on campus is good. Seemed like she enjoyed herself for the homecoming and all that type of deal. I was in the president's suite, and also she was in the locker room after the game when the players broke the rock and all that type of deal. I think she was on the sideline too, pregame. So shout out to Sarah Blakely for coming to the game. The founder of Spanx seemed to enjoy homecoming. Could be something interesting. And speaking of Sarah Blakely and and all that type of deal, it's been a pretty good recruiting weekend for FSU. A really good recruiting weekend for FSU. FSU ended up getting the commitment of edge rusher from the Atlanta area, Chris Corbin. I like this kid a lot. Around 6'4", 240 pounds. It's a real good player. He has he's physical, he's athletic, he's pretty fast, and he gets to the quarterback. Makes a lot of sacks. He's been, of course, that's something that's been a dire need on a recruiting trail, and that's edge rusher for FSU. So to have Corbin in the fold is a pretty good get. I like this kid a lot. Like I said, he was committed to Georgia Tech previously before decommitting and committing to FSU. Of course, you got to hold on to him for signing day, but this is a kid that fits the defense pretty well in what Tony White wants to do. And sticking with the defense, Sticking with the defense, we got a commitment also. So two commitments on the weekend for well, this happened today actually. Dalen Green, the local linebacker prospect from Gaskin County. He ended up committed to FSU. He was previously committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks. 6'1", 210, 215-pounder. I like this kid a lot. He's a very violent football player. He strikes you. He's an athlete as well. He was a kid that played receiver and safety for Gaskin County. Um, so you know the athleticism that he brings to the table. Bulked up a little bit. The kid has a really nice physical physique in regards to being looking like a football player. The kid looks like a football player over at Gaskin County and knows a lot of good strength and conditioning development within that program. In Gaston County, that's a program that's been pretty good the last few years. They ended up going to the state championship last year, played against Cocoa, ended up losing the close game against Cocoa, was poised to have a repeat, when I say repeat run, well, make another run at the state championship this year before a lot of, before the, before some, I guess you could say, sanctions came down for transfers and all that type of deal on that program. But nonetheless, Dalen Green did commit to FSU. Like this kid a lot. Really physical, violent linebacker. So defensive line and linebackers has been my biggest need, so to speak, as regards to what we've seen thus far within the season. And to have those two players commit is a good job for FSU. They also have I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this kid name correctly. If I'm mispronouncing, my apologies. Quantavious Wiggins, 3-star running back from Georgia that's committed to FIU. Willie's done a hell of a job recruiting. Man, we ended up getting Sandman from FIU last year. He's going to be a hell of a center for FSU. FSU is looking to be primed to flip Wiggins as well. This kid is a dynamic running back. A really good get for Willie Simmons, a real diamond in the rough. Good find for FSU as well, too, to recruit this kid in that type of deal. They were actually recruiting his teammate Carson Baker, the running back that's coming to Florida, and Wiggins just popped up. And to be honest with you, Wiggins' film looks better than Baker's. I'm gonna be not being any type of bias or anything. I think Wiggins' film does look better than Baker. I take both of those kids, but I think Wiggins has a higher upside. He did schedule official visits. Like I said, this kid is a late riser. He's been getting a lot of traction as of late. Scheduled official visits to Wisconsin and Auburn. Not sure how that Auburn official visit, if it will even stand or not, as well, Wisconsin too. I think both of those. I'm not sure if Luke Fickle fired. Not exactly sure, but of course, excuse me, of course, Hugh Freeze was fired at Luke Fickle has been fired. My apologies. Hugh Freeze was fired at Auburn, so I'm not sure if he will take that Auburn visit. But this is a kid that recruitment has been blowing up as of late. Big time player. I like him a lot. And Aaron Thomas, the legacy offensive tackle, he recently decommitted from Ohio State Buckeyes. Why is this news for FSU? FSU, of course, he's a legacy offensive tackle. FSU is one of the teams that recruited him. Took an official visit over the summer. It pretty much came down to, I guess you could say, FSU and Ohio State. But he let the two commit to the Buckeyes. Ended up decommitting. That's one to watch as well, as he could possibly, sound the nose down the stretch and be the piece in regards to the legacy. His dad played offensive line for FSU on the sixth part of the national championship team. All right, guys. Call in portion of the show. If anybody want to tap in and get your takes off, we'll go ahead and open the phone lines up. Again, got super producer Harlan. He is back with us. Like I said, he's working in Bermuda, and I'm in down Tampa. So it's been an interesting week to say the least. But yeah, if you guys want to tap into the show, go ahead. We have the link in the comments. Want to hear you guys' takes. There?
I'm here.
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
I came to cuss you out, but first I need to borrow 50 cents so I can send off a super chat.
I got 25 cents on it.
Now I need 50.
You
Oh
got that.
no, you got the money. You had the money and talent with you this weekend. Don't play crazy, but
It's gone now. You see what we're doing on the recruiting trail.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
nah,
exactly.
I ain't gonna tell you. I ain't gonna tell you what I know about that in public. But I just came to say, it was an impressive win, but I'm I'm not sold on it. That's not enough. Um, Mike with with Mike, I could honestly see us. I mean, anywhere from like running the table, winning the last four, all the way to going 0-4 down the stretch. It's like 0-4 and 4-0 are all on the table at the same time. We don't know, like, we don't know what team's gonna show up. They have yet to win a road game this year. Um,
I
and
feel you.
I gotta say I agree that I don't see him surviving anything less than 7-5.
I agree. I think I agree with you. I don't see him survive anything less than 75. 6-6, of course, it'll be a long conversation about do it or not do it for the, of course, because of the money and all these jobs opening up. But I do think 75 and up, he's safe. 6-6 and below, it gets real murky. 5-7 or 4-8, it's debatable.
Yeah, I mean, I like Mike. I mean, man, I've caught so many strays and been called so many things just taken up for Mike. But I mean, I'm at the point, man. Enough is enough, bro. You've had 6 years, and out of the 6 years you've been here, you've only been good too. So the sample size, I mean, it's not looking good. But here and now, I can't say I like what I saw Saturday night, but I just it's not enough. I gotta see what he gonna do against Clemson. Uh, I really think he got an uphill battle. If I'm just being honest, if I'm being honest, I think I think it's an uphill battle with what's left.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle because of the hole they dug themselves in. When you on a 4 game losing streak, and you don't leave yourself any room for error, down the stretch and that type of deal. And like you said, dude, it's interesting because we got to go to Clemson. This, of course, I know Clemson's been struggling. They haven't been looking like the same Clemson, but at the same damn time, it's still a road game. Like I said, we haven't won on the road. It's going to be a night game in Death Valley, and those guys still have great talent on that team. And then you got to go to NC State on a Friday night. We know how those games go. And of course, you got to go to Florida in the swamp. So you're right, it's an uphill battle.
That's why I said. That's why I honestly say anything like 0-4 as well as 4-0 is all on the table.
Mhm.
And Pitt surprisingly good, Virginia good, Miami, they the September boys. That's their name, the September boys. They're a movable object in September, and okay, yeah, they beat us, but I mean, well, Stanford just should not have happened.
Absolutely.
There's no way you're a 17 and a half point favorite and you lose to Tiger Woods University, Silicon Valley. Like, I mean, that's inexcusable.
All right.
So, I mean, I like him, and just from a recruiting standpoint, I mean, I would like, you know, for him. I mean, because right now, the way I see the recruiting landscape going, he who has stability will land of a decent to good class because there's so many moving parts in college football right now. Jobs opening, and early signing day is what, a month away.
Shit, pretty much.
So you know, I don't know. Might just need to win. I think you know, if he at least goes
And that's, I
three
think,
and one.
staff has. I think this new staff has. Sorry for cutting you off, but I do think this good staff has good recruiters on it. The recruiting has been better from previous cycles. We just really he just has to win, right? For in order to give these guys another damn year to really have a full year to kind of show with it. So when you get a new staff, the 27 class is the class that kind of well the next year class rather, which would be the 27 class, is a class that kind of shows when you build all those relationships and that type of deal.
Yeah.
26 is going fine. They still have a few more guys to fill, but that next class would have been the one to kind of judge this new staff on in regards to how well they recruit. But again, if you don't win a certain amount of games, then it won't matter because they won't get that chance at all.
And and I hate that for the new staff because like these people just got here. And then like they'll be uprooting their life again. But hey, they got some dogs in the recruiting department, and Lord knows I hate to give credit to a wildcat, but Press doing his thing, and I know Press will go get her.
Hey, 850 Wildcat at that. Be respectful.
Man, like I said, a wildcat. It pains me. Willie coaching Cookman this year. Ain't nothing y'all can tell me different. They be having Willie over there on the cell phone, on the sidelines during games.
Hey, I'm cool with it, man. Shout out to Willie, man. He will get us a win in the classic too.
Man, anyway,
Mhm.
there's no classic this year. It's not.
There's
There
not,
won't
no
be
harm. It's definitely a classic this year.
no hell.
Uh,
No hell, no hell. But man, can you give me 50 cents so I can send out a super chat? I had to get in here before KP came in.
I'm about to send my own donation now. I got you.
Yeah, I had to come holler at you before KP got in here because once KP come in here, it's over. But before I go, I just want everybody to know CJ is rich. He lives a lavish life. Um, he does drop bags, and you all saw who was on campus this weekend. And he want to play like he ain't have nothing to do with it, but him, her, and 3-6 got together, and they talk that rich people talk. But I'm gonna get on out of here, and before KP get in here, I just want y'all to know that all KP rants are sponsored by Sunshine Liquor.
Hey, shout out to Sunshine. Hey, appreciate you for joining as usual.
All right, have a good one, and Mike, what I love you, but man, you better try to win out.
Better try to win
Because
that.
I don't want to see you losing to another interim coach at the University of Florida. You lose that one, that would be the second time that the Gators have beat us with an interim coach under Mike,
Right. Yeah.
and that's inexcusable.
It's been a lot of first time in FSU history for Mike Norvell on the negative side of things. So
Yeah,
we don't
and
want
I
that.
hate it for him because it's like I know just from things that I've seen behind the scenes and heard, he's a good person.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Yeah, and and I mean I really hate that. I hate it for him, and I really pray that, you know, he rights the ship and gets to keep his job. But if he don't, and then I mean it's a business. It is what it is.
Right. At the end of the day, like you said, being a good guy don't get you wins on the football. Well, I'm not gonna say don't get you wins on the football field. Being a good guy don't um, keep your job. Winning games is
Yeah,
what keep your job.
Mike gotta learn to be a butthole too. But I'm finna get out of here. Again, shout out to Sunshine Look. I know KP will be in here soon. Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate you. And that is all cap. I do not have any money. I am poor. Cole, what up, bro? Talk to me. How you feeling?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Okay, so this is what we doing now, man. We finally win the ACC game in what over a year. The second win, what 2-12, and over a year, we finally win the ACC game, and now everything is sunshine and roses. He gonna keep his job and everything good now, right? That's how we doing it.
No, that's on them, man. Depending on them. That's on depend. Everything depends on him. He could go good or bad. Well, I won't say good or bad. Things go either good for FSU or they could go good for FSU. What I mean by that is he could win eight games, go to a bowl game, maybe win 9 or so like that, and cool, we Gucci. Or he could lose these games down the stretch, and then we FSU is in the a process of finding a new coach, and then that's good too. So it could go good or good, in my opinion. It's totally up to those guys.
Yeah, I mean the thing I seen from that game, if we played a quarterback with any kind of post, I mean that boy couldn't throw word than that. We play a quarterback with any kind of post, man. We go get ran through the water. I mean, Clemson bad right now, but Clemson got talent. And you know, you going in the Death Valley and you think you just for the running there. At least you know, Covenant can throw a little bit. They do got weapons. But my thing is like, you know, it's always saying with the money thing, money thing, money thing. But it's been 6 years, man. It's
Oh, I
been
get it.
six
No,
years.
I will say this. I will say this with the money is a lot. Don't get it twisted. But if we'd have went down there and got our doors knocked off against Wake Forest, I think that money would have been found.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, something got to give, but it's like we becoming complacent, real complacent. Oh, if we get to a bowl game, I mean, you know, I've been a fan rocking with Florida State since Peter Tom Willis, man, Casey Well, and all them boys. You know what I mean? Way back. And I mean, I know it's a different time. Everybody like it's a different era with the NIL and everything, but it's like we becoming complacency, like we becoming the Nebraska. We happen just to get to a bowl game. You know what I mean? I feel like it's no reason we shouldn't be at least in contention to compete for the ACC every year, man. That's how I feel.
I mean, I agree. We Florida State. We should. I mean, shit. It's pretty much built the damn ACC to what it is. Us and Clemson, I can say so. I mean, if it's not FSU or Clemson within the ACC championship, I agree. Those should be the teams that compete for it every damn year, especially within since no Atlantic versus Coastal. Now, I agree.
Right, right. And you know, and if that complacency start getting in, you know what I mean, you start getting complacent with that, and you don't set the standard. The standard is the standard, man. You know what I mean? And you know, I don't play no race card. I don't play this and that. But you know, you had a coach that was fired after 2 seasons, said he wasn't, you know, winning enough. That the standard was the standard. You know what I mean? And I know Norvell got a little bit better, more structure. I don't know if he can recruit better than Tackle, but he got a little bit more organization structure than Tackle. But that man he ain't even complete 2 years. This man I had six. Out of the six, what four of them been losing seasons. So I mean, I don't understand what so much of the love. He a good guy, man. Man, Jimbo an asshole. I bring back Jimbo. I rather have an asshole. I don't care about the nice guy. I'm trying to win. You feel me? I don't know.
I mean, I'm with you. Like I said, being nice don't win you games, man. So I agree. Everything revolves around winning.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, it's the way they Alpha structured that contract. It's so much money for a buyout. To it's like, you know. At least I give him this. At least he ain't just take his ball and go home. Cause man, you can sit down and make that money. You know what I mean? He ain't do that, but
No, I think the
it
biggest
is.
issue with that is just we the buyout is so big is because we gave him so many years on the extension, right? I think Mike had 2 or 3 years left. We gave him what an eight year extension. So what 10 plus years in total. Like that's way too many in college football when the landscape is forever changing. Especially you got 2 or 3 years left on the deal for a coach that has won a national championship, did win the ACC championship, but didn't win the national championship or anything like that. So yeah, that's my only issue with Alfred is just 8 years was crazy.
Yeah, I think his agent. You know, well, his agent did what he's supposed to do, get your client money. But I
He
think he was
finesse.
playing that game like,
He
oh no,
finesse.
Bell might go to Alabama.
Oh yeah, Jimmy
You
Saban's a
know,
fucking finesse, man. Don't get it twisted.
yeah,
Jimmy,
nothing wrong with that.
when Nick Saban retired, that was a domino effect for everybody. That got like 5 or 6 coaches paid. So if you remember, Texas, Sark was linked to that job. He got a contract extension. Norvell, he was linked to the job, contract
Uh
extension.
huh.
Dan Lannon linked to the job, contract extension. Lane Kiffin, he was rumbled to the job, contract extension.
Uh huh.
Kalen DeBoer ended up getting a damn job from Washington. What do
Right.
all those guys have in common?
Offense supposed to be offensive mind, right?
Not that. The same damn agent.
Oh, Saxon. Yeah, Saxon. Yeah,
Sexton. So
Saxon.
pretty much
Yeah,
Sexton.
he doing his job. I can't be mad at him. That's
No,
what he supposed to do.
he do a great job. He's the best at.
Yep.
I mean, he from an agent standpoint, like he worked for the damn client. Like he is amazing. he is amazing. But from a universal standpoint, he is a damn devil and a villain because he's killing all these kids, all these universities in regards to these huge buyouts. But again, that one move got like 7 to 8 coaches new pay raises.
Yeah, and that's the problem we having right now. You know, that's a lot of, like you say, you know, Florida State used to be an all girl school. We ain't really got the money like that,
We
you
do
know.
not. We don't have the old money, man.
Right.
FSU is a young university. I think football started like the real football program started like 1947. You got these schools have been playing since the 1800s. They were able to.
1800. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got old money sitting on it. We don't really have that now. We still
Yeah.
young with it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna be on all night. But I mean, that's just my take, man. I'm just, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to move on, man. Cause it's just it ain't the recruiting. The recruiting ain't never gonna be up to par to get us where we want to be, man. You know what I mean? I really like to win championships. Be in the contention to win the championship. And every year the recruiting around 12, 13. Well, no, his best year was 12. So what we be around 15, 16.
Yeah, around 15 this year. See, pretty much top 20.
And you going there with that logo, and we round. Come on, man.
I
The
agree.
logo speak.
Yeah, I agree. We got to get better on that front. Got to get better, and that's why I do think this new staff is better than the old staff as far as recruiting. And they've been doing a good job from coming from 2-10, and they had the commits they have. But in the flip end, I don't know. Shit, if we keep losing, this new staff ain't go. It's not gonna. We're not gonna really be able to see how what this new staff can recruit due to the fact they're being attached to Mike Norvell.
Oh, quick question before I go. I seen you did an interview with that freshman quarterback will be coming here. What's his name? O'Neal. Ain't the name last name O'Neal?
You breaking up a little bit, but yeah, with Jane
Oh,
O'Neill,
sorry.
I had Jane O'Neill on the interview on Don't Talk. Yeah,
Oh, he still he ain't decommitted or nothing like that. He's still aboard, right?
yeah. Jane O'Neill's still on board. He's if we don't move on from Norvell and anything like that, then he should be set to enroll early to Florida State.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna get all breaking up a little bit.
All right, appreciate you, man. Oh, I think I'm gonna enjoy this call. Did they drop? No, okay. All right, guys. We'll wrap it up pretty soon. We do want to come in. If you guys want to come in for the call in portion, go ahead and hit that link. We're going to get the remaining callers who want to join the show. But I do want to pay the bills real quick. Shout out to the new sponsor, Fast Pay. Fast Pay is a corporate MasterCard built for business expenses. Again, whatever business expenses you have for your business, whatever it could be, they take care of it. Entertainment, shipping, you name it, you get 2.25% cash back in Evergreen. No annual fees, no annual monthly fees. Tap in with FastPay. But yeah, guys. Long story short, the season, I guess the same story from the beginning of the season to now. These guys kind of control the destiny of everything. There's been a lot of rumors about the players having Mike back and that type of deal. Um, if that's the case, if they really felt, if they not really feel, I feel like they do feel this strong. I'm going to say really felt. I do believe 100% they feel this strongly. We shouldn't have been in a position to go lose 4 games in a row. And on the flip end, they have all the power to kind of win the remaining 4 games and go 8-4 on the season, and then go into the bowl game, whatever that may be. So the ball is in their court. We'll see how things play out. Um, Long story short, 6-6 and below, I think he'll probably be gone. 7-5 and up, he's probably safe in my opinion. So we'll see how it plays out. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Go Noles.